170.
And this is where Americans lose the plot. This is where we as Americans lose the plot in general. Is that the reason it's the world's game is that anybody can be good at it. Anybody. You don't need to be physically the fastest, physically the strongest. What is going on, guys? It is JJ here, back with a new video today. Once again, today, we're going to look at a TED Talk as to why Americans, and I'm stereotyping us because I will continue and always and forever to stereotype us, will never accept soccer or world football. We will eventually. With how good Americans are getting in general, I talked about this in the Do Americans Know the Champions League video. There are plenty of Americans who actually do thoroughly enjoy the sport. And in fact, there's an American on each of the teams that are now in the Champions League final. Zach Steffen in goal for Man City, who has made appearances this season, I believe in the EFL Cup final. And not the Premier League, because Ederson started every Premier League game, but maybe in the FA Cup too. So Zach Steffen as the goalkeeper, and then obviously that man, that jersey right there, Christian Pulisic, and among many others, Weston McKennie at Juventus, Tyler Adams, Daryl Dike. There are a bunch. Carmen de la Fuente, Serginho Dest, Barcelona. America is making its mark in Europe, and Americans are thriving in Europe at the moment in football, and I believe wholeheartedly that the American population will follow the sport sooner than later. Very much sooner than later, especially when we're hosting the World Cup 2028. It will come, because that would be the prime of the guys that are playing right now. But yeah, you guys gotta let me know your thoughts on why Americans will never accept soccer. We're gonna hear out this TED Talk, and I'm probably going to rebuke it and I'm going to hate on it, but at the same time, trying to take it from a finite American perspective, I can see why. I mean, Americans have a lot of sports. We have a ton of sports and we think we're the center of attention, so that's why. But yeah, let's get into the video. As well, guys, you can find the original video just down in the description below. Please go take a look at it. It's actually really, really interesting.
Okay, so I grew up playing soccer. My grandpa's from Chile, and I was always told that soccer isn't a sport, it's a religion. So I played for 15 years, and I fell in love with the sport. But I realized something. Nobody else cares about soccer, meaning everyone in America thinks that soccer is dumb. Why is this going?
Well, one is that we call it soccer. We call it soccer, and everyone else calls it football. And our football, which in all fairness is the most profitable sport in general, mainly because of the TV deals of American TV dealers. Yeah, it's just exposure. It's literally just exposure. Continue.
Okay, sorry. Everyone in America cares about the big three, meaning baseball, basketball, football. They care about this and not this. So I started to think, why? Why don't Americans like soccer? And when I started to think about it, I realized that there's so many things that Americans' disapproval of soccer reveal about our values and beliefs in general.
Ooh.
My first point, American ethnocentrism. In America, we have this obsession with being the best at everything we do.
I brought it up vaguely. We Americans, we love to be the center of attention. We love to be number one. We feel like it's that way with Hollywood and with music and with culture and with everything. Realistically, some of those, no, not even some of those things. We are a gigantic melting pot. We have always been that way. We rip from other cultures. Other cultures take from us. That's what the globe is in general. However, I love the meme where it's like Americans when something talks about like world destruction in a movie and it's just New York or it's just the United States. Because literally, think about it, the Avengers movies, all the stuff happens in New York. New York is the setting for like every big drama thing that has to happen. It should never be that case. The world is huge for a reason. There's so much more out there.
We're America and we're number one in the universe. And don't get me wrong, I'm the first to join in on a USA chant where and whenever it breaks out. But let's be real, it's pretty obnoxious.
It is extremely.
And we feel as though our football and basketball should be no different. Our football players are the best players in the world, but they're the only players.
They are the only players in the world.
And our basketball players are huge, and they win every year. We have 14 of the 18 basketball gold medals.
And the only gold
And
medals
our
we
baseball
don't
players
have, only gold medals we don't have in the Olympics are because they refused to send the pros over, and we kept it amateurs, because that's what the Olympics are supposed to be. It's amateur. I guess Olympics aren't supposed to be amateurs necessarily, but you get the picture. But the world is coming.
They're competing
Luca's a
in the
perfect
World
example
Series.
of it.
But the World Series is between 2 American teams. So I
That
think
is
it's
fair,
pretty
the
safe to
World
say that
Series.
our favorite sports, we're the best in the world at. But what about the world's favorite sport? In soccer, our men's U.S. team is yet to win a single championship title. So what do us as Americans do? We don't watch it, because if we can't be good at it, then there must be something wrong with the sport. But this alone isn't enough to keep us away from the sport. So there has to be some other reasons. Americans have an obsession with the excessive. We have supersized meals and huge cars and the largest houses we can afford, and even our people are getting bigger and bigger every year.
Mm-hmm.
So why should our sports be any different? Take scores, for example.
This is...
in
She is spitting mad facts right now. American ethnocentrism, and as well, just bigger the better. That is an American thing. Is bigger the better. People want to see more points scored in NFL games. We want to see more points scored in NBA games. We don't want to see people play defense. We want to see more goals in hockey. We want to see more home runs in baseball, which I think, last year there was the most home runs ever in baseball. People want to see it. Like Americans, I guess, want to see it. And you'll never get that. You'll never get the flashy from the world of football. You'll get the beauty. You'll get the technical. You'll get the... Literally, what we talked about in my N'Golo Kante video, you'll get the little things that make things so much better.
Scored, which is
it's an attribute to detail.
And in football, the average score is 20-17, which is about 7 goals in comparison. And then we have the NBA, which on average, each team scores 97.2 points, which is about 75 to 85 goals a game. And then there's soccer, who scores 2.2 goals on average per game. That's just not big enough for America. Something else isn't big enough. Soccer players. In the NBA, the average size of a player is 6 foot 6 inches and 220 pounds. That's like Hagrid from Harry Potter. Then the average football player is about 6'3" and 250 pounds, also huge. And the average baseball player is about 6'1" and 200 pounds. Then you get to soccer, where the average player is 5'9" and 170
And this is where Americans lose the plot. This is where we as Americans lose the plot in general. Is that the reason it's the world's game is that anybody can be good at it. Anybody. You don't need to be physically the fastest, physically the strongest. Even mentally. You just have to have a bit of skill with the feet. A bit of football IQ. Just the touch, the proud, anybody. Like, you look at as superior of an athlete as Lionel Messi is, and look how tiny the man is. Look how tiny he is compared to a Kobe, a LeBron, a Michael Jordan. I don't know who would be like the Mount Rushmore in baseball. Mike Trout, I don't know. And football, Aaron Rodgers. They're not anywhere. I mean, you could say Tom Brady. He's not really fit, but he at least goes vegan half the year. I don't know. Those guys aren't physically built like Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi, but he's just the greatest. He's the greatest. He does all the other things.
Half the guys in my lecture hall are bigger than that. America simply is not impressed. Which brings me to my last point. Materialism. In America, we seem to be obsessed with making money.
UEFA Super League, baby. Or European Super League.
The main networks that would play soccer, being ESPN, CBS, NBC, ABC, make a majority of their money from advertisements. And soccer just isn't conducive to advertisement. In comparison to football, which has the end of the first or third quarter, the 2-minute warning of the second and fourth quarter, timeouts, instant replays, game stoppage after punt returns, injury timeouts, game stoppage after scores, and game stoppage after turnovers that all lead to commercials. Soccer has halftime. That's just not enough for the networks. But even if they would play them, Americans just wouldn't watch. Because as Americans, we value the time of making money much more heavily than we value our
But it's not productive.
in comparison to other countries who work shorter days, have more vacation time, and have way more leisure time than we do. For this reason, we value our hours of leisure time much more highly. Therefore, say, spending an hour and a half to watch one goal isn't exactly the best use of our time. So in terms of economics, the opportunity cost of watching a soccer game is far too high. So while I love soccer, and I would love to see it become huge in America, until we value money less, don't care as much about being the best in the world, and can get over the fact that everything needs to be huge, soccer will remain an everywhere but here thing, along with the metric system and the drinking ages. Thank you.
Okay, well, she's not the greatest of presenters, but she does bring up literally all of the best points. Americans in general, we are extremely ethnocentric. We always value ourselves before others as much as people want to. I mean, inside the United States, maybe it's not the same, but let's face it, we do as people value America first before others. And it's been, I mean, if Trump wasn't the biggest sign of that, then what is? But the biggest thing I think preventing world football from becoming that global sport is the money side. That's why the Super League was such a big idea, aka from JP Morgan. JP Morgan were the ones who wanted that Super League, and a lot of the American owners of European clubs wanted that Super League. You want to know why? Because it's guaranteed money, and they could guarantee it through investments from JP Morgan and from advertisements. And they wanted those big American TV contracts. They wanted like the Premier League size deals times $1 billion. And I think that is the issue, is that when you have the Super League, it's like you have the best toys just crashing into each other all the time, and they're like, American audiences would love that. It's essentially the NFL. It would be like the college football playoff is essentially what the Super League was. You take the best teams at not even the end of the season, just from their conferences, aka the European leagues, and you just smash them into each other at the end of the season and just let them go ham. That's the Champions League already, but you have to actually play to do it. And let's face it, European teams are tired of playing. They wanted the guaranteed money. So, but yeah, let me know what you guys think about why Americans will never accept soccer. Let me know if you guys want to see maybe more videos like this as to maybe why Americans hate this or love this. I might do a video on why Americans love Tottenham Hotspur, because it makes no sense to me and it just baffles me, and I just continue to see it over and over and over. There are so many Tottenham fans in the United States, and I don't get it. I don't get it in the slightest. I get being a Chelsea fan. They're my rivals, and so I never would understand it. But I want to know how Americans get to the point of loving Tottenham. So, thank you guys so much for watching, though, and peace.